of a religious atmosphere, which is their greatest gift to me, I think.
And that's why you've gotten in so much trouble with every religious group.
You noticed that. But no, there were, like many Indian Muslims, they saw that phrase, Indian Muslim, as a description of a community, not of a theology. And they certainly didn't wish to live in a state dominated by religious belief. That's to say, they saw themselves as Indians first, and Muslims, way down the line. And after all, they weren't by any means alone. And in fact, even today, there are many more Muslims living in India than live in Pakistan. So it was a decision made by many people, but it split families. In my family, for instance, half my family went to Pakistan, the other half stayed in India. Sometimes it broke marriages. One member of the marriage wished to go and the other one wished to stay. So it was a terrible rupture. And then, of course, it was hugely exacerbated by the terrible massacres that took place at that time.
And you said once that of the three countries that you grew up in, India, Pakistan, and England, Pakistan was the one you felt most like an outsider.
Yeah, Pakistan sucks. I mean,
well, at least you're being diplomatic, thank God.
Could you be more straightforward? I don't think I got that one.
No, I know it's one of America's current two allies in the world, but
Saudi Arabia and Pakistan.
You're on the roll now.
But it sucks. And especially if you're used to India, which is a rich, complicated, open society full of colors and smells and excess and rich, kind of real richness of life experience. And you cross the frontier into Pakistan, which used to be the same place. 56 years ago, used to be the same place. Now you feel a kind of, in a cultural sense, you feel a kind of airlessness. That there's no air to breathe. People aren't allowed to say what they think. They aren't allowed to do what they like. Women and men are segregated. There's a gigantic drug culture because it's one of the world's major producers of opium and heroin. There's an exploding AIDS problem, which is not looked at because, of course, Muslims don't get AIDS. There's a highly gangsterized urban society. There's political corruption on both the civilian and the military side. There's economic corruption so great that 75% of the economy is now believed to be the black economy rather than the overt white economy. There is enormous regional dislike. The Sindhis don't like the Punjabis. Nobody likes the Balochis. Everybody hates the Northwest Frontier where they're fundamentalist and pro-Taliban. It sucks.
But there you are. You go to England. V.S. Naipaul goes to England. He falls in love with English